Hey, so you know what it is? Let's jump back into it. Hit that like and subscribe. Let me know where you're all from. Let's jump into it. So, you have the ex-gang leader. He's charged in Tupac Shakur's death. He's seeking release from jail, and he wants to be placed on house arrest. Keefe Davis, So let's jump right into it. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who was charged for alleged his involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur, has requested that a judge place him on house arrest ahead of his trial. The Associated Press reports on Tuesday, December 19th, Davis's legal team, which was appointed by the court, announced that they would ask that his bail be no more than $100,000. But they claim that his health is deteriorating. And since he's been incarcerated, he has not received the proper medical care after a bout with colon cancer, which they said is in his remission. And so now, Dwayne Keefe D, he's trying to use his health to his advantage, where he wants to get out of jail and now be placed on house arrest. But, there's a bigger picture to it all. So pay attention. His diet and lack of exercise in the jail, given his age and medical history, is negatively impacting his health, said Robert Arrero and Charles Cano, deputy special public defenders in the bail motion filed on Thursday, December 14th, before Clark County District Court Judge Carly Kearney. Additionally, his lawyers argued that he poses no threat to the community and he won't flee to avoid persecution. But how do you know that? Because he was incriminating himself. He's now trying to say it was all for fun and games, and it just was for money, and that he was being paid to say these things. But there's a hidden intention behind it. There's deeper things going on. And there's a possibility, if you think about it, with what people do nowadays, he may try to actually flee away, even though he's not saying that he's a threat or he's not going to try to flee from the persecution. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below about that. Now, Davis, who is married with 4 children, has remained at home for more than 2 months since law officials raided his home and he was indicted. Davis's bail motion also noted that the indictment stems from insufficient testimonies based on hearsay and highly prejudiced and speculative evidence from witnesses and questionable credibility. Now, the motion goes on to detail that Davis's memoir, Compton Street Legend, should not be used as evidence to build a case against him. In the book, he reveals his alleged involvement in the drive-by shooting that killed Shakur in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. Now, Davis claims to have locked eyes before gunfire riddled the BMW that the former Death Row Records head Marion Suge Knight was parked in at a stoplight on the Las Vegas Strip with Shakur in the passenger seat. Now, Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat, Davis wrote. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command, keep your hands where I can see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the back seat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. Now, his legal team said that his writings were purely for entertainment and not factual, but the book and interviews were done for entertainment purposes and to make money, the motion read. And as I was saying, he was just trying to say it's for entertainment purposes and just to, he was paid for it and he was just trying to make the money. But like I said, there's deeper intentions with this. Now, before the shooting occurred, Shakur was involved in an altercation at a casino on the Las Vegas Strip with Orlando Baby Lane Anderson and Davis' nephew and a fellow member of the Southside Compton Crips. Now, Anderson, who was in the car with Davis along with 2 other men, maintained his innocence in the connection with Shakur's killing. Almost 2 years after Shakur was murdered, Anderson was killed in a shooting in Compton in the 1998. Now, since his arrest on September 29th, Davis has been held without bail in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas. And so Davis is scheduled for trial in this June. But as I was saying before, on that note right there, there's hidden intentions, there's deeper things going on. Keefe D's father even came forward to say that it's just all a setup right now and that they're just trying to put him as the getaway, that he's like the scapegoat for what's the real people. And so, a former Los Angeles area gang leader that was charged with the murder and the killing of the hip-hop music icon Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas is deriding the case against him as the product of speculation and secondhand testimony, as he asked the judge to put him on house arrest ahead of his trial. Now, January hearing date was set on Tuesday on Dwayne Keefe D. Davis's bid to be released on no more than $100,000 bail. Now, his court-appointed attorneys wrote that the health of their 60-year-old client had deteriorated, remember, in jail, and that he was not receiving the proper medical attention. And now they're trying to use his colon cancer to get him out. but his diet and lack of exercise in the jail, given his age and medical history, is negatively impacting his health. The Deputy Special Public Defenders Robert Arrow and Charles Cano said in the bail motion that was filed on Thursday. But, Davis, originally from Compton, California, was arrested 29th of September outside a Las Vegas area home where police served a search warrant, on July 17th. When his attorneys told the judge that Davis was married, his 4 children had lived in that Henderson home for 10 years, posed no danger to the community, and would not flee to avoid the prosecution, is what they're saying. But they noted that Davis did not leave the town in the more than 2 months between the police raid and his indictment. So he is scheduled for trial in June, but his bail motion attributes the indictment against Davis to incomplete accounts based on hearsay and the highly prejudiced and speculative evidence. Now, from witnesses with questionable credibility. Now, also maintains that Davis's 2019 tell-all memoir and various interviews should not be used as evidence against him, including those which he described orchestrating that drive-by shooting that killed Shakur and wounded the rap music mogul Marion Suge Knight. But Knight, now 58, is serving 28 years in California prison for the death of a Compton businessman in 2015. He has not implicated Davis, even though Davis said in his book that the 2 men locked eyes moments before the car-to-car gunfire erupted at a stoplight near the Las Vegas Strip more than 27 years ago. Now, the court filing noted Davis is the only person still alive who was in the vehicle from which shots were fired. So the book and interviews were done for entertainment purposes and to make money is what he's trying to say. But remember, the document said, adding that Davis was shielded by a 2008 agreement with the FBI and Los Angeles police that gave him immunity from the prosecution in Shakur's death. Now, Davis wrote in his book that he told authorities in Los Angeles what he knew about the fatal shootings of Shakur and rival rapper Christopher Wallace. Now, 6 months later in Los Angeles, Wallace is known as the notorious B.I.G. or Biggie Smalls. Now, prosecutors say the Shakur shooting followed clashes between rival East Coast and West Coast groups for a dominance in the musical genre dubbed gangsta rap. And now the grand jury was told that shortly before the shooting, Shakur was involved in a brawl at a Las Vegas Strip casino with Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson. Now, Anderson, then 22, was in the car with Davis and the 2 other men, but denied involvement in Shakur's killing. And Anderson died 2 years later in a shooting in Compton. Now, Shakur had 5 #1 albums that was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards and was inducted in 2017 in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, he received a posthumous start this year on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, in a street near where Shakur lived in Oakland, California in the 1990s and was renamed recently in his honor. And that's all like some recent news right there. And it's kind of interesting when you think about it because, you had Keefe D's dad coming forward saying that it was all a sham and that his son was being used as, the scapegoat and just used as the poster boy. But then Suge Knight, he was saying he's friends with Suge Knight and he's real close with him, but he doesn't want to come forward for him or say anything or help him in any type of way, really. So you guys all let me know what you think in the comments below about everything. I'm going to keep you updated. Hit that like and subscribe.